Today I just want to share about the stages of consciousness because this is what my work has been informed by for over 20 years when I found yoga and Waldorf education. It wasn't so obvious in the beginning, but as my work developed over time, I really have realized that these stages of consciousness are informing everything that I have been attracted to. And they're magic because the more that we can connect with the feedback loops that are here, the more that the locks and keys are revealed, the mysteries. And in yoga, when I sat with developing the ShineOnYoga teacher training program, and I received that I needed to work through these stages of consciousness. So I developed my training around them, and I offered the training through the course of, say, 9 months. Sometimes I would make them shorter and bring more into each session, but typically I worked in 7 to 9 month cycles. And so each weekend we would look at yoga through the lens of that stage of consciousness, or chakra. And chakra means wheel, and it's an energy center. It's a feedback loop. It's a give and a take. It's a movement pattern. And so, for example, we would start with the root chakra, Muladhara chakra. This is our base center, and it's where we have base or root issues, things like food, home, shelter, ancestors, our root issues that we have on the earth plane. And each stage of consciousness has a theme. So the second center is the Svadhisthana, or it's all about water and flow and relationships, the give and take. But it's not always fully conscious. It's subconscious. It's our psyche. It's our patterns. And so as I developed this training, working through the lens of the chakras, more and more each time was revealed to me about these stages of consciousness and the keys that really open that stage to a lot of action in the skies. So each stage gives us this ability to tap into the fullness of that consciousness, or to access different keys that guide us in that spaciousness and that space that can actually not be very spacious. When I started to work with Waldorf education, I realized that these stages of consciousness were also brought through by Rudolf Steiner in his Waldorf educational path. So that each grade, starting with first grade through 8th grade, also connected to a stage of consciousness and accessed the gifts and the keys of this stage. So in the root chakra, we were looking at the first grade and looking into fairy tales and the archetypal patterns that make up the backdrop of the universe. Whereas in second grade, we're working with the fables, or the animal behaviors that correlate to our human behaviors and how we can create binds, or how we can free ourselves through right thinking, correct action, and so forth. And then we move into these other stages that give us a frame for right living on the earth. And then when I started to more deeply investigate human design, there's also these centers of consciousness, and each one allows us a portal, a threshold. And I see life not linearly, but in that we spiral. We spiral through the seasons. We spiral through these different levels of development, of understanding. And through time, a lot can be revealed. Our experiences and knowledge can be transformed to wisdom when we are patient and relaxed and open and receptive to the flow of life and asking questions, right? So perhaps in the future I will make a class on specifically on the stages of consciousness and peer into more of what these centers hold as gifts for us, of those who are willing to tread this path, because it's not an easy journey, and we find challenges. And a lot of times when we're challenged, we stop. But when we get to challenges, it's the time to take some deep breaths and keep going, because often it's right around the corner. The gifts can be revealed. And the beauty of initiation work and rites of passage work is that we're always, every season, we have an opportunity to awaken in a deeper way to the things that are living inside of us. And it is not easy, because this world is filled with constant airplanes and technology and all the things that want to take our attention away. But the power is in our attention and our intention, and no one can take that away from us. And it's a gift that we have, and we can cultivate it more, even amidst the chaos most that we live in. So bye for now, and I look forward to sharing more in a class structure on the centers of consciousness.